Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm on my way to school. Caitlin is taking a separate car because she might have something after school. We don't know for sure because it's from her other classes at the other school, which is in a different town. So, situation is she's part of a floriculture club, which is like plant ID and figuring out what's wrong with the plant by looking at it, like plant CSI, like I mentioned before. And her teacher is wanting to take the class that's in there to different places that have plants like Lowe's, Walmart, you know, places that have like little nursery areas to give them more experience identifying plants and identifying problems with them. Well, she won't have a way to get there and back if she doesn't take a car, because when she goes to her classes, our school system buses those kids over to the other district and brings them back. But after school, they won't do that. So she can't get there otherwise. Plus, I'm going to be setting up my classroom after school for my March Madness transformation. So I'm very excited about that. Hopefully it won't take too long because I am positive that by the end of the day, I'm going to want to be done and go home because I'm already tired. Isn't that just teacher life? Hashtag teacher life, teacher tired all the time. Because we just do stuff all the time and we just never seem to catch up on sleep except in the summer maybe. So I'm very excited about it. I have basketballs inflated in my backseat. You can kind of see right there. And I have them in trash bags. So there are 3 trash bags full of basketballs. So I have 12 inflatable basketballs to hang from my ceiling with paper clips. I've already gotten orange bulletin board paper to put up around the room. I have a backdrop screen kind of thing. And I have the materials for the stations that the kids are going to go to. I need to pull out my lock boxes because it is a breakout and they do have to find the right code to get the correct key to open up the next box. So it's going to be very exciting. I'm thinking that the kids are going to have a lot of fun. It goes along with the book about the basketball player long shot, Chris Paul. So I'm going to make sure and read that today and tomorrow. Today we're going to read it and compare it with the Michael Jordan book that we read yesterday, Salt and Issues. I'm going to compare them and contrast them. And then tomorrow I'll read it again so they can remember the story better. I also have the book available if they want to look through it. But they really should be able to do all of the activities by memory because it's not like you have to quote anything. It's just basic comprehension from reading the book. Like, I read through the book one time. Obviously, I'm an adult, though. That's different. But I read through the book one time, and then I went through the activities myself to make sure that the sequence was right, that I put them in the right envelopes with the right codes. And I thought, oh, yeah, they can do this for sure. And they're going to be working in groups. They're in teams. I've already got a page made with each team on their own little basketball. So they will be helping each other. And they're strategic teams. I put different ability levels in each group so that they could support each other. And you never know, you know, sometimes you think the high kids are going to be like, sometimes those low kids will swoop in and surprise you because they are super interested in the topic and they're invested in it more. So when I was reading Salt in His Shoes yesterday, so many of my students were just glued to the story. It was amazing. They were like, oh. Especially, I have a few boys that aren't super fond of reading, especially if they have to read within a certain level of books. Now, if they could pick anything they wanted all the time, they would be much happier. But they loved the book. They were glued to it. And man, when I asked the comprehension questions and asked about author's purpose and asked them to explain their thinking, they were right on it because that was something that interested them. So, not to say girls are not interested in basketball by any stretch, but if you teach elementary school, you probably have seen that sometimes it's harder to hook some of the boys in your class with a reading project. Sometimes it's just not their thing. I have several boys that are very energetic and they don't like to be still. And so it's kind of hard for them to just be still and read a book. But when it's something exciting like basketball, they're all over it. So that's very exciting. Okay. I'm not going to be getting to school super early today. I mean, I won't be late by any stretch, and I'll be there before my contract time. But I have a lot of things to schlep into the building. I have my teacher bag, I have my lunch bag with my drinks in it, and I have the 3 bags of basketballs, which they're not heavy at all, just a little bulky. But I do have the drawstring handle tie bags, so I have handles to hold on to. All right, I'm on the highway now, so I'm gonna go for now, and I'll try to check back in with you sometime today when I'm not on the clock and let you know what's going on. And I will certainly show you what I'm doing to transform my room into somewhat of a basketball stadium-ish look. I'm not going to go quite as crazy all out on this one, props-wise around the room as I did for my movie theater one. But I will put little splashes of basketball theme around the room just to kind of set the mood. And I do have an outfit to wear, of course I do. So that'll help too. I think the kids are just gonna be really excited about it. This will be my second comprehension one that I've done, and then the other ones I've done have been math. So it's been a balance. And I also have other ones planned. One I've created is going to be science and social studies. I've never done one like that before. And to be honest, I don't feel as confident in those subject areas. Social studies, yeah, because there's a lot of ELA involved in that. But science, I've never felt super confident as a science teacher, even though the last time I did summer school, which would have been 3 summers ago, I think, that's all I did was science, and it was amazing. It was amazing because in summer school you have a little more freedom. I had 3 weeks with the kids, and we rotated. The kids rotated through an ELA room, a math room, and then my science room. And so I could just focus on science the whole 3 weeks. It was amazing. I hit so many standards. It was great. We did a different strand of science each week. Like we did force and motion one week, we did sink or float one week, and we did, I don't remember what the other one was. States of matter maybe? I don't know. But whatever it was really, really good. I can't remember exactly because it was more than a few days ago. But every day the kids came in more excited. It was so cool to see how excited they were for everything. They would say, what are we doing today? We go, here we go. And then when they leave, they go, what are we doing tomorrow? I'm like, you'll have to come in and see. And they're like, ah. So they loved it. It was great. So I'm excited about this transformation that I have created for the next one that I do of my own. That won't be the next one I do in my classroom. I have 2 other ones that are math related that I'll be doing before that. I have one for measurements and I have one for fractions that I'll be doing first. And then closer to the end of the year, probably like the beginning of May, I'll be doing the science and social studies one. After we've studied those topics a little bit, kind of as a review, extra practice thing before we test for our final report cards. I cannot believe how close we are to the end of the year. Like we have, after this week, I have 7.5 weeks left. Basically 7, because the last 3 days of school, you just need to have everything tied up. Yeah. I'm getting close to my school, so I'm going to go so I can just hop out and get in my classroom and get ready for the day. So I'll check back in with you later. Hello, good afternoon. It's lunchtime and I'm heating this up today. Should be super good. Okay, it has started to rain. So my class will have inside recess. So at least they'll get to run around and get some of their wiggles out. We read Chris Paul Longshot, and I reread the Michael Jordan story, Salt in His Shoes, and we compared the 2, and they are very similar stories. Very similar. There are just some minor differences. And so we're going to talk about the minor differences when we come back from recess, because I'm having them choose which player they think is the best and support their opinion with 3 examples why. But the problem is they're coming up with reasons that are the same for both people. And I said, oh guys, you know what I noticed? If you put this, this, and this, couldn't that be for both of them? And they're like, oh. So for example, never giving up, practicing every day, and having a supportive family. That's the same for both of them. So that doesn't really show why you think one is better than the other, because they're the same. So I said, when we come back, let's go look in the details of the books and make a list of different things for each one. And then you'll have some more things to play with for your reasons. And they're like, okay.
So they were really excited to read that book, and I was too. I've read it already once, but it's got some great things in it. So very exciting. I am going to take a breath because since it started raining and the barometric pressure has changed and stuff, my head is starting to hurt. So I think I'll be drinking a lot of water and taking some more medicine to help that. For our immediate thing right after recess, we'll work on our opinion writing some more. We did a rhyming lesson yesterday, and I showed you that book that I was using, and it worked out really well. Sorry, I got interrupted by an intercom. After recess, we'll do our opinion writing, finishing up, and then we'll read our Michael Jordan book and have AR time and reading groups. Then the kids will pack. We'll get our foundations boxes out, which have the dry erase boards in them. We'll do our iReady whole group lesson for phonics. And then it'll be time to line up to go to our dismissal areas, and I'll have late buses. And then after late buses go and I get them all situated on the bus, I will come in and set up for our March Madness transformation for tomorrow. Okay, got all the kids to the buses. It is now after school. It's time to set up basketball stuff. So I already put a few little cutouts. They're just the Ouster Bright paper with a basketball on them. I have been attaching these to my envelopes. So these are the ones that actually have the activities in them. And then the little, like, I don't know what you call them, distractors, I guess, distractor codes, I'm going to take home because I didn't bring all my envelopes with me. But that's okay. I can put the other ones on those. I don't know if I'm going to bother getting the boxes out with the keys, honestly, because we're doing it a little differently this time. And so I think I will just leave the envelopes like across the bottom of the board, or like, you know, somewhere around the room where they can get to them. And they'll take the activities out of the envelope rather than messing with the key. And then, because the way I'm doing it this time, last time I did one of these breakouts, I had us all do it together, whole group, and we just moved from thing to thing to thing. This time, I'm gonna have them in different groups working together, so they're all going to start at a different place and just rotate through every activity. So I think it'll just be easier, because otherwise, they'd have to get the code, unlock the box, take the activity out, do the activity, put the activity back in the box, lock it back up, and by that time, somebody else might need that activity, so it's not gonna work very well. So if I was gonna do the boxes, I probably should have made like 5 of each activity, and I didn't want to do that. Honestly, that's a lot of printing, laminating, and cutting. Maybe I'll do that over the summer and have it ready for next year, like when I have all this extra time and not a lot to do with it. So this time, I'm just gonna give myself a little bit of a break. It'll be just as fun figuring out what code goes with what and doing the activities. So let me show you the little books I made. These do not come in the product. This is something that I created. Now I made the cover with little basketballs. Looks just like that. Just got some clip art. The basketball is separate, so I made it look like it was going through the hoop. I thought that was kind of cute. Okay, so what I did was I screenshot some of the activity pieces and put them in their books. That way, since there's gonna be 4 or 5 in a group, they would all have like their own thing to look at, but they'd have the big master thing to like work things out on. Because some of these, since I put it on orange, they copied kind of dark. Like I made a color copy for me at home to check it. But some of these, like these clipboard ones, they need to figure out which one of these is the answer. And then they have a spinner that they use as the code breaker thing. So I thought they could all circle the answer in their book after they figure it out on the actual thing. So for example, let me just show you this one. I'll just show you this one. And they're all little table tents that go with everything. Isn't that cool? These are from the product, okay? Kori Markussen, True Tales of a Teacher. She's got everything in there. These are so cool. These are all trading cards. And on the back are the text features, because these are text feature trading cards. That looks familiar from the book, doesn't it? So these things are in the book. So this is called text feature trading cards. I made a table of contents to go with this so the kids could find it, because they won't be going all down the line since everyone will be starting at a different spot, but they will rotate around until they've done everything. And every time they do a station, they're going to color in their basketball. That way they'll know when they're finished. When they are finished, that's when they'll get their treat, which will be the little basketball cups with the little basketball cheese balls in there, which I'm really excited about. I cut the backboards out last night. I think I showed you that. Maybe I didn't. Anyway, I cut them out, and I have the cheese balls back here somewhere in my pile. So I'll be making those up tomorrow, probably during plan time. So it'll be nice and fresh. But I wanted to have little snippets. Okay, so here are the back of the trading cards. So they have the text features in their book. And that way they'll be able to have their own little version. And I'm going to have them turn these in. This is like their workbook for their stations. And it will show me maybe a little bit how they did. Now, since they're working collaboratively, they may do a little better than they would have by themselves, but this is practice. It's not a test. So I hope they get the right answers in here, because then maybe they'll remember how they did it. So this is going to be really cool. I'm excited. I had someone ask me on Instagram, you're doing another classroom transformation already? How do you find time to prep everything? Well, we just had spring break. That's when I did it. Spring break. And honestly, this didn't take that much. I mean, you print the activities from the product from TpT, and then you laminate. I have a home laminator. Most people do anymore because they're only like $15 at Target and Walmart. And then there wasn't, like, I didn't even cut this one. I just folded it in half. It's just a laminated, it's just a sheet of paper that's been laminated. I didn't even use cardstock, people. Not even cardstock, just regular paper. And then these where it's two sides, and you just fold it and you laminate it while it's folded. And then I just left a little margin of laminate around so that it wouldn't come apart as easily. And I ran it through my laminator like 4 times just to make it super sealed. It was probably a little overkill, but I'm okay with that because, you know, I'm extra. So extra laminating for an extra person. There you go. So like I said, the prep for this, not a lot. Now, at the beginning of each activity, it tells you what code is going to be for the next thing. So that's super easy too. So on my envelopes, I just marked what code it was going to be, because I actually printed these at school, and that way all I had to do is just tape them on. So all I'm doing is making 4 little tape rolls to attach these to the fronts of the envelopes. And so that's what I will do with my distractor codes that I take home with me. So this will be a lot less work tonight for me. So what I need to do after I get these last 2, because I couldn't, for some reason I couldn't find these 2. I knew I printed them. I don't know what happened to them. You ever have things just randomly go missing? Me too. So I just printed them real fast, and I went and grabbed them off the printer just a little bit ago. So I'd have them, because I'm not going to leave anything to tomorrow at all, except for the cheese ball thing. So I have got my teams all made up. So I will post that on the board after I tell everybody what team they're on. Let me get this last one on here. So Caitlin did not end up having that thing after school today where her floriculture club was going to go around and look at plants at nurseries and ID them and kind of see what was wrong with them, because there weren't enough people either interested or not enough people that could go. So she just got to go home after like 1 o'clock. She's been home. So she said that she was gonna play with her plants. She was gonna repot some things. I'm like, okay, cool. And she had ordered a lemon plant and it came today. So she texted me a picture. It's really pretty. I think it's a variegated lemon plant. I don't know. She could tell you all the particulars because she knows all the little Latin names and everything for everything. So pretty cool. All right, now I've got these already. And then I showed you these. Everyone has a ticket. They're all cut out now. And here's my fishing line that I need to hang all of these basketballs from the ceiling. Here are my little backboards. They go on my cups. I remembered to take the cups out of the other car. Doesn't matter though, because Caitlin's already home with the car, so they would be home anyway, but that's okay. I took care of that. And I put them in the house actually, so they're ready to go. Okay, I don't know if I showed you this or not. Yeah, I think I did. I got this from Amazon, just to like a, what's it called? Here, this is the actual name of it. I think this is the exact one that Kori Markussen used, because I think I looked at her Insta story and I just went right to that. So it was like, it wasn't super expensive. And it'll be really fun. So I'm all about that. It's pretty sturdy. It's not super thick, but it feels pretty strong. So I'll be putting that on my board. I need to clean my board off because we were doing our whole group lesson for phonics, and we were working on the sounds for OW. So here's what we came up with from our lesson. after we did the whole group iReady lesson, the first one, and we actually finished one lesson. So we did the ones that they talked about in the lesson, and then I had the kids come up with words that they knew that ended with OW, that had the sound of O and the sound of ow. They did a great job. And then it was time to leave. It's time to go. All right, I've got all kinds of crazy stuff on the floor. I have pencil pouches that I'm not going to deal with right now. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I'm going to get started on my work and see how much I can get done, because I don't want to be here forever. It's 4:03 and I'm ready to get things done so I can get out of here. So let me get to work and I'll show you what I'm doing. Well, I just made a sad discovery. I am not tall enough to reach the ceiling, even with this giant ladder here. Nope, I'm about a foot and a half too short to reach the ceiling, and I'm not going to try to kill myself to get up there. So plan B is going to be to hang these kind of like I did my lanterns over here. See the lanterns there and over there. I'm gonna hang the basketballs randomly around the room. After fiddling and fiddling and fiddling, trying to get the dang paper clip to hold still so I could tie the fishing line to it. That probably took me 5 minutes. Oh my gosh. So I guess what I'll do, I have 12 of these. So I guess I will go around and just, what I did with the lanterns was I just stapled around this. Like I just put a staple like across it. And that has held very well. I mean, you can tell these have been up all year with no problems at all. And I had them up, I had some of them up in my first grade room too, and they were fine. So, grr. Well, maybe I'll actually fix those poof balls today since I've got the ladder out now. Ah, dang it. So these would have been great hanging from the ceiling had I been tall enough to actually reach them. Now, if my husband were here, he would be tall enough on the ladder. But, okay, back to work. So I realized, oh, I could get up here to hang them because the cubby thing is nice and sturdy. So there's one little basketball. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hang like, I don't know, some, whatever looks good there. And then, I don't know, kind of messed up my plans, you know? So, I don't know. I may just hang them there and call it good. I don't really know. Maybe hang some up on the curtain rods up there. Maybe. I don't know. I envisioned them hanging around the room, you know? Darn it. I'm here by myself. I really think it wouldn't be smart to put my ladder on top of a table to make it taller, because I do have that big table back there, but I think that would be a bad idea. And if I break my neck, I'm by myself. So, bad plan. Not safe. Okay, so I'm gonna hang a few more up here and see how it goes. I'm on top of the cubbies and I'm getting ready to hang my last basketball, but I thought before I do, I should tell you how I hung them. So I have that fishing line that I showed you. And see the little thingy that you push in after you blow it up? There's like a loop. So I put the fishing line through the little loop and I tied it like 4 times. And then I took a paper clip and I bent it out like this and I squeezed the end together. I kept the long end open and the short end I squeezed, and then I tied it like 5 times here. And so then I just take this thing here. Whoop, do this. And let's see, we're on this row. Okay, so you just like lift this up and just like set this in there. Like so. Sideways. There, like that, see? And it just hangs. Now, I have no idea what this looks like because I'm up here. I'm not down there. So I'm gonna go down there and see what it looks like from down there. Okay, moment of truth. You ready? We're gonna look at it together. Here we go. All right, here it is. I didn't worry about them being at the same height, but I think, honestly, I think I need to have them around the same height because that one's the only oddball. So I'm just gonna I'll just wrap up the extra fishing line so where it's about the same height as these. They don't have to be exactly the same. It'd be good if they're a little closer than that because that just looks like a goofball hang them up. Because it was a goofball that hung them up. So I'm gonna climb back up there and get that one that's just obviously so much longer than the other ones and just make it about the same distance from the ceiling. Okay, let's see what we have now. Okay, here we go. Ah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. They're not exactly the same height, but you know what? I don't care. That doesn't bother me. I think that's a little more aesthetically pleasing than having one super low. So I think that's pretty good, actually. Yeah. You can see my popcorn box still from my movie theater transformation. So I decided I'd take the popcorn box down because that doesn't go. I need to take my little snowman thing down too. And I think that I might figure out what I'm doing next. This is all I'm gonna do tonight because it's like 5:30 and it just started pouring down rain. Yay me, get to walk to the parking lot in the rain. I think I have an umbrella in here somewhere, so I'm gonna try to find that. But I want to get my black tablecloths from home. I didn't have them here. So I will find them at home, and I wanna cover some things, just like draping them kind of makes everything fade into the background. So I'll probably drape this thing in black and my listening station and my classroom library and stuff. Just kind of drape things with black. That'll make it look good. So I'm gonna go over to the front of the room here. Wow. I'll come in through the doorway and I'll kind of show you what everything looks like. Okay, so when you walk in, you see this giant crowd because it's a giant stadium. I didn't do a lot with this yet because I want to cover that with the black tablecloth material from like Dollar Tree, which I have lots of. But you can see I've got basketballs back there. I just have basketballs randomly around too. This was just bulletin board paper. Oh, you can see the bulletin board roll right there. Need to move that. But then I have little basketball hoops. Those came from Walmart in the Easter section. They're like, I don't know, $1.98 or something. And they come with these little squishy, rubbery basketballs. But I thought if I let the kids throw these, it's gonna whack into this paper and it's gonna knock it down. So we're not gonna do that while the paper's up, but I might let them shoot baskets later. But that's just kind of for decoration. You can see that one's about to come off. So I may have to put them back up tomorrow, but whatever. That's what they look like now. And then I have this across here just to kind of give it a little bit of fun. These are the ones that have the actual activities in them. And then I'll bring the distractor codes and put them, I'm gonna mix them around. But for now, we have these across here. And I'll add the other ones in. I have little Easter baskets from Dollar Tree that look like basketball hoops. So I may bring those too. They might sit like in front of those or around those or something just for fun. I don't have a ton of them, but I have some. Be kind of fun. And see the basketball there. There's one there. There's one there. And there's one up there. And I have a whole other basket of them. So after I cover this with black, I may put some basketballs around. But right now, I'm not going to. And this looks really cool. That took a while to put up. It is now 5:35. So I probably worked on this thing maybe 15 minutes because I had to keep like sliding my ladder down and moving stuff out and sliding my ladder down and moving stuff out. So I had to discombobulate a lot of things. And it's just barely long enough. Not quite. So I almost wish I would have started from that end and worked my way that way. But, you know, live and learn. I didn't know. But I did fix my tissue poofs, so now they're not drooping down so badly. They don't look fantastic, but they look better. So I think that looks really cool. I mean, don't you? That's a cool crowd. You could do those for a NASCAR one too. That'd be cool. Or a rodeo or anything that would have a big crowd. A fair, maybe a circus or something. Okay, so I'm gonna get myself together and go home because I'm tired and I need to make all those little snack cups with the netting drawn on them. Hopefully Caitlin will help me with that. She just volunteered to blow up most of the basketballs last night, which was amazing. So cool. Now, last time I did the classroom transformation with my movie theater, I didn't let the kids come in the room until it was time for that. I'm not gonna do that tomorrow. They're only gonna be in here for about 12 minutes before they go to specials. So it's okay if they see a little bit of it. They don't know exactly what we're gonna do. So they saw me put the basketball things up here if they were in late buses because I just clipped them with paper clips. And they're like, what are the basketballs for? I said, that's for tomorrow. And they're like, oh, okay. But they don't really know what it's for. So it'll still be fun. It won't be a complete surprise because they'll see some of the stuff in the room, but I'm okay with that. They're gonna read for AR in the morning anyway. So I'm gonna get my computer packed up and grab my bag and go home because I am tired. I am hungry. I'm cold because because the air's been on and it's rainy and gross outside. So I'm happy to go home and just put on my jammies and hang out with my kitties and my family and relax a little bit. I already got my newsletter done like today during plan time, and I printed it already and it's ready to go home with kids tomorrow. Yay. Which that's basically my lesson plan. So if I go off that, I pretty much have my lesson plans made, except for the specific things from other stuff. But like the math is planned. I need to do power hour because we're going to start doing some more advanced measurement, like perimeter and maybe area and things like that, because these kids that I have are pretty darn good at measuring to the nearest ½ inch and measuring with centimeters. I have a couple of strugglers that I'm going to work with. I'm going to pull them back and while the other kids are working more independently and help them out. Or maybe we might switch some kids around so we have like a lower group of measurement people and a little bit higher group or something. But we're going to keep our groups next week, at least for measurement. All right, I am going to quit talking now so I can get out of here because I'm tired, and it's going to be like 6:15 by the time I get home now. So that's kind of late. I'm ready for a little bit of a snack. Maybe I can grab something here before I go because I'm super hungry. So I will probably catch you in the morning and show you what it all looks like. All right, see you then.
Good morning, happy Friday. It's a yucky rainy day out, but that is okay because in our classroom it's going to be super awesome and fun while we do reading comprehension activities with a March Madness basketball theme. Yay! So we're doing a comprehension breakout, and I can't even remember all the skills that we're doing because there's just amazing amounts of them. I know one of them is fact and opinion, and one of them is nonfiction text features, and some various other ones that I'll explain later. But it's an awesome resource that I'm using, and I've just thrown in some little bits of basketball things. And I also found a freebie math game that's basketball themed that I'm going to put out for kids to do in between their challenges, just in case they finish before the next group does that's working on the challenge they need to go to. So they need to have something to do in between. So I was thinking that maybe when they do their math game with their partner in their group, they're all in teams. So they'll have already made up partners for them. When they are finished playing that game, maybe whoever won that game could get points or something for their team or something like that. So I'm going to figure that out during plan time today, because after they go to specials, which is my plan time. So we're going to start this probably about 9:30. When they come back from specials, I want to reread the Chris Paul book so that it's fresh in their minds, because that is what all of this comprehension stuff is about, is that story. So I want to make sure that all of them have heard that twice before we do it, because I don't want them to go from memory from yesterday. That'd be kind of hard to do. So we'll do that, and then I'll give them an overview of the challenges that they are going to do, so they're not completely like, what is this? Because like fact and opinion we've talked about, but we haven't done a lot with. We have done a few things here and there, but it's never been like a focused, okay, we're working on fact and opinion, you know, for several days in a row. I've kind of put that in there here and there to introduce them to it. So today they get to put all of their knowledge to the test. For some reason, sometimes fact and opinion is really hard for kids because they don't realize that just because they think something's true, that doesn't necessarily mean it is true. How you feel about something isn't necessarily the way it actually is. That's just how you feel about it. So it's a little tricky. That's why we're practicing it. This will not be the last time we practice it either. This will just be another way to practice it. So I'm very excited. We have done a lot with nonfiction text features though, so I'm hoping that that goes very smoothly for them and they go, oh, that was easy, because that would make me feel really good, because then I feel like they got it when we were working on it before really hard. As far as I could tell, every kid was doing really, really well with text features. I mean, we've done lots of activities with that. I've done explicit teaching with that they've had to do, where they show me the text features. They tell me which one they would use to find a certain thing that they need to know about. So I feel like they have a really good grasp on that. This will be another way to check their understanding for that. Because like I showed you that little booklet that I made up, kind of as a recording sheet thing for them to turn in to me. I can kind of see how they're doing with that. Even though it is in groups, and I do know that it won't be completely accurate like an individual assessment would be, but this is just a review piece anyway. So that won't be taken for a grade or anything. It's just another practice and review type thing for them, so they get more experience with these different comprehension things. It hits 5 different standards, which is awesome. So I'm really looking forward to this today. It kind of makes this yucky, blucky, rainy, gray, grody day something awesome anyway. So it's likely that they'll be inside for recess today. It is what it is. I mean, they like inside recess too. It's just they can't be quite as loud when they're at inside recess because, you know, it's inside. So it's gonna be great though. This afternoon, when I have my co-teaching session, we're going to be working on persuasive writing. And the teacher that comes in to co-teach with me sent an email a few days ago saying, hey, here's some ideas for what we could do on Friday, and pick which one you think would be best. And so she had several different books that she had used for persuasive writing in the past, and she very nicely explained what each book was about and the focus of it. And so I chose one of them, and I honestly cannot remember the name of it right now because I've been thinking about so many different reading things lately that I just can't keep it straight. But she's got the book. We're going to do an activity with it after the kids have heard it, and I think it's going to be great because they did get a little bit of opinion writing yesterday when they got to choose whether they thought Chris Paul or Michael Jordan was the better player. Caitlin will be helping set up for the district contest tomorrow for their music contest. So we're taking separate cars again, which is why she's not here again. That's okay. Sometimes that's going to happen. And honestly, this is how it's going to be for me starting next year. I won't have my sidekick with me every day at school because she'll be graduated, which is really weird to think about. But in case you didn't hear, she got an internship for the summer at a nursery, a growing company in Kansas, and she will be moving there 2 days after graduation and then starting work the following Monday. So she's going to graduate Thursday the 16th, and they have project graduation, which is like an overnight kind of thing, which I'm going to be a zombie Friday. Then we're going to move her to Kansas on Saturday, get her all set up, and then Monday she starts work on the 20th of May. So it's quickly approaching, and it's freaking me out because it's almost April. Like today's March 29th. We have 2 more days of March, and then it's April, and then it's May, and she's gone. Thankfully, this place in Kansas is only a few hours from here, so it'd be very easy to take a day trip there. And if she had some kind of emergent situation, it wouldn't take us terribly long to get to her. So that's kind of making me feel a little better. It's not like she's going to be, you know, across the country or across the world. So that's good. But it's still weird thinking about that. She's getting very excited though. Like when we were out shopping, she's like, ooh, yeah, I want to get this for my bathroom, and I want to get this for my kitchen. And I'm like, yeah. So I think we're going to try to see where she's going to be living before she actually moves, so that we can start getting some things that she'll need, because we don't even know what's going to be provided for her. Like, I don't know if it's furnished. She does have a home of some sort to live in. I don't know if it's a house or an apartment, but they furnish a living environment for her, and she does get paid a salary. So it's like a real job. And there's a very real possibility that this could turn into a position with the company, because they do like to hire their interns after they've trained them, because then they're trained the way they like them to be. So she's hoping that happens. I hope she loves the area that she's in. She has been saying for the last few years that she really wants to move to California. So Kansas is definitely not California. Not even close. So we'll see how she likes it. She goes, man, I don't know. You know, the seasons here get me down. She does not like winter at all. A lot of people are affected like that. I think I'm affected like that too. So she wants to go to a place that has a lot more sun. Plus, that's a great place to grow things, right, Kate? Okay, I'm almost to school, so I'm just going to close off for now, and I'll try to show you little snippets when I get a chance after school of what everything looked like once I get it all set up. Because I'm going to bring my black tablecloths in and cover some things, and I need to put those distractor code envelopes out, which I totally forgot to put together last night, but that's okay. I have the envelopes at least, so I can put those together and get them ready. And then we'll get started after they come back from specials. So I'll keep you posted and let you know how it's going.
Hey there. So I'm finally trying to eat the rest of my breakfast at lunchtime. This is the third attempt. I don't have a lot left. So the breakout went pretty well. Something you need to keep in mind if you're going to do something like this is expect it to be really loud and chaotic. That's just the way it is. Because they're talking to each other, they're working things out, they're getting frustrated, they're getting irritated with each other, and they're having to work all these little issues out while they're solving the problems, whatever they're working on. So just know that going in. Also, you might have a little snafu, like I noticed there are 5 rotations. I had 5 teams, so they're all gonna be, they started at a different place, then they got a code and that sent them to a new place. Every once in a while, one of the stations was jammed up because one group took a little longer than the other one did to finish something. So I did have these set up over in my library where they could shoot baskets for a little bit to fill up some time. So have an extra activity for them to do in between in case they need to wait on their next station. All of these are important skills for them to practice. So some of them were more familiar to them than others. So the ones they weren't as familiar with were a little more tricky. I did have a few at the very beginning say, it's too hard, and they just wouldn't try. And I would go over and I said, if you need help, put up the timeout sign and I'll come help you because I'm the ref. So I came over and I said, what's wrong? They're like, this is too hard. I said, did you read the directions? Because there were directions on each little table card. Yeah, but sometimes you could tell by the way they said, yeah, they didn't really read it very carefully or something. I said, well, let's start over. If you're stuck, just start over again and we'll see what we can do. So I guided them through. Some of the stations, I kind of read through the scenarios for them and kind of got them started so they kind of knew how to do the work. Because in order to decipher the code, you had to do different things. So sometimes you had to follow like a map. Other times you had to look for the answer and find an underlined letter. Other times you had to count the letters in something and look at your decoder to find the letters. So there were different things they had to do. Sometimes that tricked them up a little bit, but I just kind of showed them a little step on how to do it and they were fine. They kept saying, this is so fun, this is great, I love this. I'm like, yes. Even though I was bummed because I was too short to hang all the basketballs, but really that was not a big deal. I mean, that's just aesthetics, who cares? But I just thought it would make it fun. They thought it was really awesome when they walked in and saw everything. So I did put the black around, and I've taken all the orange tablecloths down, but I did get a shot of that earlier after I put it up. So they thought it was really, really cool. And I had a couple of my administration team come in and walk around and actually like participated with the kids. And they thought it was really cool. So really neat. And then of course we had the basketballs for snack, little cheese balls, which I was covered in Sharpie last night. But you know, it always happens that you figure out at the very end how to do it the best. So the last few looked really nice. The other ones were like, meh. So if you're going to make those cups, you're going to be drawing a lot of Sharpie lines. Just know that going in. But it's okay. It was really cool. The kids were like, oh, when I brought out the snack, they're like, oh, we could eat those. I'm like, yeah, you do. So we had basketball cheese balls. That was cool. So there's not a whole lot left of our day. So the kids will come back from lunch. We'll have a restroom break. Let them get a drink. Actually, we just had a restroom break. So they'll come back from lunch. We're going to pack one little group at a time. And then the reading teacher will come in and we'll do a co-teaching lesson on persuasive writing. She's got an awesome book to model with that. Then we'll work on the writing for a little bit. And then I told my students they could do Friday Fun Club because we didn't have time to do it earlier. And we can just do that for the last like 15 minutes of the day. And then we'll clean up and go home. We're going to have late buses in my team teacher's room next door. So that will make it a lot easier because I could even keep some of my late bus kids to help me clean up if we don't have enough time. I'm very excited. I don't know if anybody has any Scholastic orders today. I forgot to ask. So I need to find out about that because I need to send it in tomorrow. And then I held on to the tickets so they wouldn't be laying all over the floor. And I said, I'll just give these to you at the end whenever you pack. And so they were very excited. They're like, yeah, we'd probably drop them. I'm like, yeah, and you'd have to keep track of them the whole time. And yeah. So I learned my lesson with the movie theater transformation that they don't hold on to stuff necessarily. Some kids just tend to lay things down and forget where they put them. That's okay. I let them use markers in their little recording books because I didn't think pencil would show up very well. Plus, marker always makes everything so much more fun. Yeah. Okay. I am going to finish what's left of this breakfast / lunch, so my brunch. Have a little bit of water, take a few breaths, and then dive right into the rest of the day. Hi. It's a little after 5 and I'm still here because I was chatting with my team teacher next door just about random stuff because she's been gone for a while. And we're just talking about random stuff like catching up and everything. And I realized, oh, I should probably go home. So I've taken most everything down in my room, as you can kind of see. I didn't take that down because I'm not about that today. We're just gonna leave it up. It's kind of cool. I'm just gonna leave it. We're gonna have a crowd cheering us on for a little bit. I might leave that up for our testing. I don't know. But I still have the basketballs around too. You can see they're random snippets of orange. But I've taken down the major stuff just to make things more normal. And I have rearranged my chairs and desks and things. And I think I like it this way, I think. But if I don't, I can always move it. But anyway, I'm gonna get ready to leave. But I wanted to say, oh, the kids forgot to stack these up. No biggie. They loved these things. They did get to do Friday Fun Club today and they were all about that life. They were like, yes, finally. Yeah, they did a fantastic job with our Comprehension Breakout. They really did. It was kind of hard sometimes. At the beginning, they were a little discouraged because they didn't realize they were going to have to really think about stuff. And I said, guys, you can do this. This is not super easy, but it's not too hard for you. It's a little challenging and you will have to think and work together with your team, but you can do this. And so like I said earlier, I did guide them a little bit and some of them I guided a little more because they were really struggling. But once I got them going, they did pretty well actually. So that was really awesome. I'm glad I did it. And like I said before, you got to expect that it's going to be a little chaotic and a little loud because they're working together, trying to figure stuff out. Sometimes they get a little grouchy with each other because they don't agree with how the other person's doing something. And that's just kind of a good thing to let go a little bit, not to the point where they're being hateful or mean, but have a little disagreement and try to work those out. I was always listening to see how far it was going, but they always worked it out. So that was good. I'm kind of liking having this thing up here. It's kind of cool. All right, oh, the smell of cleaner in here is a little strong though, because our custodian lady has come in and disinfected, which is good because we do not want the germs. But I think I need to go because it's going to make me have a headache. Just some pretty powerful stuff, I'm going to need to plan for Power Hour next week. That was one of the things we talked about was what do we want to do? What direction do we want to take our measurement? So we're going to be focusing on some perimeter and then we're going to go to area. So that's cool. Then our next chapter is centimeters and meters measurement. So metric, that's chapter 9. So we're going to be working on that. After another week of Go Math, we'll be in chapter 9. So we were talking about our assessments and things like that. And then we'll be into data and graphing. So I like that stuff. I think that's kind of fun because you can graph anything. And so you can come up with some fun activities for that, for Power Hour, for them to practice that. But I have not seen Caitlin all day. Like I saw her for about 30 seconds this morning when she said, bye, see you later. So I'm going to head home and check things out there. But I cannot say enough good things about doing these kind of themey, extra classroom transformation, things like that. They're really awesome. It's instant engagement for the kids. They're drawn in by the theme. And then you put the rigor in and it's a win-win for everybody. So I highly encourage it. If you're scared, don't be scared. Start small. You don't have to change your whole room. You can just throw a few little odds and ends in there that are super easy that go along with it. You don't even have to put stuff up on the walls. I mean, really, you can go little or you can go major extra like I sometimes do. But really the thing is just, get the kids excited, really. And honestly, if you're excited, they'll be more excited too. And I was super excited. And I didn't get to show you what I was wearing today. But obviously I'm wearing a referee shirt that I got from Amazon. I will link it below for you. I didn't do anything major. I just have like normal black pants on, see? And just some black shoes. I thought about getting like black tennis shoes or something. I'm like, why? I would never wear them for anything else. So that would be silly. It'd be a waste of money. But yeah. And then I got like a $1.98 whistle or something at Walmart. Yes, I had a whistle on my lanyard, but it's kind of gnarly. And I just wanted a plain one. So it's kind of springy. It's kind of cool. Now, if you know anything about referee shirts, can you tell me what this little loop is for? It's a little elastic loop. I have no idea what it's for. You're supposed to hang something from it? I don't know if that's maybe where your whistle goes. I don't know. Maybe you can clue me in the comments because I would love to know. Because I realized that when I looked at the mirror today, I went, huh, what's that little loop for? I don't know. And I meant to ask some of my teammates and I forgot because we were talking about more important things, honestly. So, all right, I'm going to go now that it's 5:15 and it's not getting any earlier. It's getting later. So I'm going to take off and go home. And when we come back, it'll be April. That is so weird. So weird. I did change my calendars, so that's good. And I need to find my April header for my calendar because it still says March. But it's around here somewhere. I think it's in here, actually. I think it's in my drawer. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. We'll leave this right on my desk so I can cut it when I come in on Monday because I'm not staying to do it now. Alrighty. I'm going to go home and enjoy my evening of pizza and movie. I'm probably falling asleep on the couch. Maybe some Netflix. I don't know. Pajamas, kitty snuggles, and family time. Tomorrow is district contest at our school. Not my personal school, but my daughter's school. So I'll be helping out a little bit with that. It's her last one. It's so weird. I try not to think of everything as, oh, this is the last time you're going to do this. This is the last time you're going to do this. But it's kind of hard because it is the last time she's going to do these things. But it's also going to be a series of firsts. So her first place away from home, her first own set of dishes, whatever, you know. So exciting firsts are coming up too, not just sad lasts. I'm trying to think on the positive side. You know, her being independent and stuff is what we parents are here for. That's our job, is to get them to the point where they can be responsible for themselves. But you get so used to having a child and doing things for them that it's hard to let go. Yeah. But everybody had to do it. My mom had to do it. Your mom had to do it. So I'm going to do it too. It's going to be good. I'm sure we'll be texting a lot. Maybe FaceTiming so we can see each other. But I still have a couple months with her at home, so I'm going to cherish them. And honestly, even when she does things that annoy me, and even when I do things that annoy her, I think we're both realizing that we're going to miss each other, so we don't want to be so grouchy about things. Let it go. All right. Speaking of letting it go, I'm going to go. So I'll see you next time.